Once you get out there in it, now there's no resistance to say no.
That's right. That's right.
Resistance is killed. Well, in this chapter, let's see what's going on. In the beginning, it's fun. I'm talking about the drugs. I'm talking about, you know, and that probably started in some of the other chapter. But, you know, that's when, you know, when I was talking about, you know, remember when drinking and throwing up and falling out and having hangovers and all that was fun? Well, there's a fun period. Don't let nobody tell you sin is not fun. If sin wasn't fun, we wouldn't risk our life to do it.
That's right. That's right.
We wouldn't dangle ourselves over hell trying to do it.
That's right.
If sin wasn't fun. The Bible lets us know that sin for a season is good.
It says sin is good for a season. For a season.
We wouldn't risk our lives with sin if we really got the real revelation of what the consequences. We wouldn't play with it if we really knew. But this is a chapter where things began to unravel, y'all. You can begin to hear the cracks in her beautiful voice.
That's right.
Her appearance began to change.
Yes.
Rumors of mismanagement of her money. This is a period where she completely severs the relationship with her father.
Yes, she did.
This is the chapter where we were talking about meaningful accountability. See, this is what happens in addiction. This is what happens in addiction. Everything that you had stable in your life, you purposely unraveled. Because you know, now you want free reins to really do what you want to do. This is a chapter where the various addictions are the greatest love of all for her. Whitney shared in her interview with Oprah that her and Bobby would spend days, months getting, I was just watching it last night. And she was sharing with Oprah that, you know, that they would, I mean, because they had the money. Money was not an option. They had nothing to hold them back. They had nothing to hold them back. And she was saying that, you know, that for days and just days rolled into weeks, and then weeks would even roll into months, where they would just get high. And at the time, when she was telling Oprah that, well, we just put the coke in the weed, and we just smoke the weed. But I don't, listen, when you're in the throes of addiction, you open.
Yes, you are. My God.
You open. You open. And being that this is a class that just deals with addiction, we just need to say that. Mm-hmm. Amen?
Amen. Wow.
What's important to bring out is also later in this chapter, in this fallen star chapter, now she starts to make several attempts to get clean. She's even making attempts to get back to God. She's making attempts to get back to God. She even severs her ties with her partner in crime, Bobby Brown, in this chapter. But what's important to note is that this is documented stuff. I'm not making nothing up. I'm just basically giving a historical account here. There's 3 or 4 failed attempts at rehab. Yeah. Let me tell you why this is important to talk about. Okay, and this gets right into the crux of what this class is about. Okay.
My God.
The last thing that a person that is in the throes of active addiction, one of the worst things that they can have are enablers.
That's right.
The worst thing. The worst thing that you could have when you are in the throes of an active addiction are enablers. Let me just tell you the 2 types of enablers that Whitney had. These were people that were these enablers that were either people out of ignorance.
Yes.
Listen closely. These are people that either out of ignorance Meaning that these people just didn't know the severity of her addiction, because listen, if you go to rehab 3 or 4 times and those attempts are failed, I'm talking about intervention type. I'm talking about intervention type of rehab stints. Okay, there was one intervention. Her mom came and got her. Said, look, it's with the police. Say, look, you're going to get away from this situation for a little while so you can have a clear mind to think about what you want to do. But you have enablers that are what are called ignorant enablers. They just don't understand the magnitude of addiction. That might have been your mom. That might have been your dad. That might have been someone in your family that was, they were enabling you. They didn't really know that they were enabling you, but they were enabling you.
To keep doing it.
Then Whitney had another type of enabler. This was the yes crowd enablers. See, let me tell you something. When you get to that height, because one of the things, because we talked about this a little earlier, we talked about the hallmark of denial as one of the major hallmarks of addiction. Well, one of the other major hallmarks of addiction is narcissistic behavior. Okay, the big people with with DDs and all that behind their name, they call it narcissistic disorder. It's just a fancy word for self-centeredness. See, who's going to tell Whitney Houston?
Right.
Who's going to tell Michael Jackson? Can you imagine Tito going to tell Michael Jackson, look, man, you need to get yourself together.
That's right.
Tito couldn't tell Michael Jackson nothing.
No, he couldn't. I'm the famous brother.
So you got enablers that are going along for the ride.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're basically yes party people.
That's right.
And they're at the club with her.
Yeah.
But see, the person that really understands the nature, the deadliness of active addiction. See, these are the people that hear that you're going to the club.
Right.
See, these are the people that were, and there may have been some people, I'm not saying that there weren't. There may have been some people in Whitney's life that kind of, because everything that you do when you're on that level is in the news. So they probably might have heard she was going to a club. And they called her, don't you should be going to that club. See, these are people that kind of understand that I can no longer enable you in your behavior anymore. I'm no longer going to love you to death.
That's right. Love you to death.
See, people that really, I'm talking about people on the outside. These people that really understand the nature of addiction, these are the people that show up at the club.